Welcome. Welcome everyone who is here in the room with us. Welcome to everyone who is joining us virtually. Welcome to everyone who's elsewhere in the building listening in. I am Gretchen Van Ness, Executive Director of LGBTQ Senior Housing. We are the small but mighty nonprofit partner in the transformation of this former building into a home and community known as the Pryde. It's my honor to welcome you here today to celebrate the official opening of the first LGBTQ affirming affordable senior housing in Massachusetts and in all of New England. This historic milestone is even more meaningful because it's happening exactly 45 years to the day that our community filled the streets outside Stonewall Inn in you bet. In the protest that history would come to recognize as the first Gay Pride March. And 20 years ago this year, our community sued and made history in Massachusetts when it became the first state to recognize our right to marry. So you've probably heard the saying that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. In building the Pryde, we have come far and fast because we've been together with some extraordinary people from the beginning of our journey, many of whom you'll hear from today. But before we hear from them, I want to take a moment to speak about the people who will call the Pryde their home in the coming years. This community will be life-changing. We heard the story of the 65-year-old man who has lived in veterans housing for 4 years, has never met another gay person there, and has not made a single friend. We met the trans woman who lives in the closet, fearful every day of losing her apartment if her landlord finds out who she really is. We met the older lesbian who lives alone and told us that she thinks she qualified for affordable housing years ago, but could never figure out how to apply. And we met the woman who burst into tears when she learned that she would not have to give away her beloved family, her pets, to be able to live at the Pryde. On behalf of them and every person who will have the chance to live in a community that embraces their full, authentic, fabulous selves at the Pryde, we want to thank all of you for your help in making this dream a reality. Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome to the podium our friend, our neighbor, our former city councilor, and our mayor, Mayor Michelle Wu.
Good morning, everyone. Or afternoon, I don't know what it is. I think, good day, all. Thank you so much, Gretchen, for your leadership, for your patience, for the many, many years of community organizing and advocacy that has led up to this point. I am so excited to be here with this incredible crowd for one of the most important celebrations that we could experience here in the city. To those who are on the stage and all the leadership that you bring, to those who will be speaking and who I'm honored to share the podium with, and to all those who have gathered from all different parts of our beautiful community, welcome and thank you for making this the place that the rest of the country will have their eyes on. It's been a great day already. I see some of our officers and leadership from the police department who are running around the city with me as we had a promotional ceremony earlier today where we promoted the greatest number of women into sergeant positions in at least in a very long time. Thank you for taking the time to also continue to represent in community. I also want to thank all of the rest of my colleagues here at City Hall. I see a number of our cabinet members here. Of course, our Chief of Housing, Sheila Dillon, and her entire team. Thank you, thank you. Our Chief of Human Services, Jose Masso, and neighbor in Hyde Park. President of the Boston Public Library, David Leonard. Director of Inspectional Services, so that every corner is safe and taken care of, Tanya Del Rio. Thank you so much. We have the Director of our Office of LGBTQ Plus Advancement, Julianne Lee. Our Age Strong Commissioner, Emily Shea. Chief of Equity and Inclusion, Mariangeli Solis Cervera. Our Hyde Park Neighborhood Liaison, Cecily Graham. Okay, I'm on record as the rest of the elected officials too. Sarah Rob Consalvo, City Council President Rutzi Lujan, City Councilor Enrique Pepin, State Rep Sam Montano. That's the elected, so we're good. And I know that Senator Mike Rush and also U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren had wanted to be here, and there were some issues that came up, but so many people wish they could be here. And thank you to Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, Secretary Ed Augustus, Governor Maura Healey for everything that you do. Okay, now I have to start my remarks. We are here today to give back and to make history. There is always more work to do, and we take that responsibility in Boston to be at the forefront very seriously. But it's nice to take a moment to be able to celebrate the strides here in Boston and in Massachusetts since we became the first state in the country to marry same-sex couples 2 decades ago. As you can see, we haven't rested on our laurels, and so much of that progress we owe to our LGBTQ plus elders. These are the inspiring community members who knew who they were and knew the consequences of not keeping themselves hidden, but who refused to be deterred from living their truth. They knew that a better world was possible, even if for the next generation. And today, it means so much to be able to give just a little bit back to those who have given us so much. So we're here to cut the ribbon on the Pryde, the first LGBTQ affirming senior housing community in Boston, in our Commonwealth, and in New England. Today's a reminder that Pryde isn't just a month, it's a movement every day toward a future where no one has to hide who they are, to be at home, in a place they are safe, seen, and loved. These more than 70 new homes for LGBTQ plus elders wouldn't be possible without the vision of 2 people in particular, in addition to Gretchen, who have dedicated their lives to helping our neighbors find places where they're safe and celebrated. So I want to shout out Eileen Montour, President of LGBTQ plus Senior Housing, Inc., and Vice President Philippe Saad, who's also principal. Thank you to Charlie Adams and everyone at Penrose and at Demella Schaefer for bringing this to life. We're proud that the city's housing team could play a small part under Chief Sheila Dillon's leadership, Acting Director of Neighborhood Housing Christine O'Keefe, Lead Project Manager Chris Rooney. The housing here that's affordable, sustainable, and unconditional in its care. It looks really good, y'all, too. I got to look at one of the units. The beautiful countertops, the roll-in showers, and the views. They kept the chalkboards from the classrooms, and I want to move in. Is there space? How many years do I have to wait? So the Pryde isn't just a home for our LGBTQ plus seniors. It's a promise for generations to come that Boston will always be a home where you are seen, loved, and celebrated for who you are. Happy Pryde, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mayor Wu, and there's a reason that we call you our friend, so thank you so much. As you heard, unfortunately, Senator Warren's not able to join us today, so we're very bereft that she's not part of this incredible celebration, given the fight that she put forward with Senator Markey and Congresswoman Presley to restore the federal funding that was cut by the Republicans. So I just wanted to read a message from Senator Markey and a few words from Ayanna Presley. And I have to read it because this is how our senator speaks. Happy Pryde, and congratulations to the Pryde on its official ribbon cutting as Boston's first LGBTQ plus senior housing development. I'm sorry. The Pryde is a true leader in supporting the safety, security, and well-being of our LGBTQ plus neighbors. I'm proud to have secured $850,000 in federal funding to support the critical work the Pryde is doing to help LGBTQ elders age with dignity, grace, and surrounded by community. We know the journey has not been easy, as some have tried to use fear to deter our progress, but we know here in Hyde Park and across our Commonwealth, love conquers hate. To members of the LGBTQ community whose advocacy has made today possible, I want you to know I am with you, I love you, and I am proud with you. Happy Pryde Month, everyone. And from Congresswoman Presley, I am so sorry I could not be here in person to celebrate the joyous ribbon cutting, but I am there in spirit. Congratulations to the entire team for creating a sanctuary for our LGBTQ seniors to enjoy their elder years exactly as they are, right here in Hyde Park. This building, this neighborhood, and most importantly, the neighbors who will call it home, deserve this investment, and my team and I are honored to have been invited to play a small role in the execution of this truly visionary and necessary project. I cannot wait to see the culmination of years of hard work and welcome our new neighbors. Congratulations. So we are not only blessed with one of the best mayors in the country, we also are blessed with the most amazing congressional delegation you can imagine. So it is now my great honor to introduce our partner in this project, who also has given his entire heart and worked day and night to make this happen, Charlie Adams from Penrose.
Good afternoon, thank you, and welcome to the new Pryde of Hyde Park. This is a historic moment. To paraphrase Charles Dickens, it is a far, far better thing we do than we have ever done before. This is a ribbon cutting that will be different from any you have been to before, and not just because there's going to be an intermission with so many speakers, but because of the personal journey that this development represents for so many. For me, there are a number of moments where the journey began, but the defining moment begins with Eileen Montour. Eileen defies the laws of physics. She is both an immovable object and an unstoppable force. To say she is passionate belittles the word. Her passion has passion. We spent countless hours together, she and I, walking the streets of Hyde Park, attending neighborhood meeting after neighborhood meeting, and showing up at countless events on Saturdays to get this project. Eileen has taught me a tremendous amount I am changed forever by my connection with her, and I'm very proud of that. Thank you. There are many people responsible for the Pryde, but most importantly today, NEI is responsible for the Pryde and getting us this certificate of occupancy and being able to have this event. I'd like to, the NEI folks are in the back. I want to recognize them quickly. Tony, Brian, Cody, Brandon, Nada, Don, and Bill. These guys got this job incredibly far. They got it to the 1 yard line, and then Bill Young pulled it right across the line, working with ISD and Boston Fire Department the last 2 weeks to allow us to have this event. So we really appreciate all that they have done. There are many heroes that you will hear today, but there are also some unknown heroes, and I'm going to change that. So I would like Brian Turley to come up to the stage with me today. Now, Brian, can you make your way up? From day one, you've all known that the mantra for this building was friendly, and Brian kept looking at us and saying, this building isn't friendly at all. But Brian made it friendly. And we are eternally grateful for him for that. He fought this building hand-to-hand combat 6 days a week for over 2 years. And so we wanted to give him something to remember by. We'll give him a chance to actually come up on stage. So if you could join us, Brian, if you could join us right up here. Everyone give another round of applause for Brian. So we were lucky enough to have Lieutenant Governor come and give a tour, and there's a great picture of that. So as a memento, we wanted to give him this picture of that event to have. Yes. That was a small thing. We also have a memento from the building that we wanted to give him. But now we come to one of the known heroes, a superhero, in fact, because superheroes get to change their name. The LG known as Dung Queen number 2 is with us here today. People don't know that. They don't know about that. Okay. All right. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. The Commonwealth is a leader across all the states, and we really appreciate the governor and lieutenant governor's continued support of affordable housing. The LG seems to be everywhere there is an affordable housing event. She engages at all levels. I have been to more workshops and meetings with her than I can remember. This administration made 2 great decisions. One was they made a statement by creating a secretariat, which hadn't been done before, which is really amazing. And they also promoted Kate Racer to undersecretary, which is really amazing. We are blessed to have such a champion in the lieutenant and lieutenant governor, and please join me in welcoming the lieutenant governor to the stage.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So pleased to be with all of you and grateful to be part of the first all-female team leading the Commonwealth. I just left the governor. She's disappointed she can't be here, but I'm going to try and channel my inner Maura Healey for today's event. What a great way to wrap up Pride Month. Like, amazing to be here, especially knowing that I'm celebrating a ribbon cutting of a building that I had an opportunity to tour while it was still in progress and saw all the bones and all the challenges. And I was just blown away by what I've seen already today walking into this amazing new space that's going to be a terrific new community. It's just so clear that the plans that all of you had for this amazing space have really come together. And it's a great source of pride, not only for myself and for the governor, for the mayor, for the entire Commonwealth, when we know, when we work together, we can create these amazing spaces. The Pryde certainly serves as a reminder of the importance of inclusive, equitable, and affordable housing. The first of its kind building offers an affordable space for LGBTQ plus seniors, the folks who paid the price of having to live in silence, of not being able to live their true authentic selves, and to be able to have a space dedicated just for that in our Commonwealth and to celebrate it during Pride Month. Well, I think we're all having a pretty special moment this Friday. To be able to celebrate a space that celebrates the meaning of home at a time when housing is one of our most critical needs in this state. Here in Massachusetts, we have a tremendous housing shortage that's been built up over several decades. We didn't get here overnight. We're long overdue for a bold response, and that's exactly what our administration has been focused on. We all know why housing hasn't happened. It's expensive to build, the land's expensive, interest rates are up, equipment supply is also expensive. And what we've really decided as an administration is that we're just not going to admire this problem. We're going to lean in, work together to find solutions. And it's really important, no matter where Governor Healy and I are at, and Secretary Augustus for that matter, we're lucky to have him leading this effort, whether it's in a neighborhood in Boston, or out in the Berkshires, or on the South Coast, or in the Cape, or in the North Shore where I live, or Merrimack Valley. Every community leader, every small business owner is talking about the high cost of housing and what it's preventing them from doing, living their best lives, hiring their best workforce. The very people that we rely on every single day in our lives, anyone who hands you anything over a counter, the people you may drop your young kids off to, or someone helping take care of an older adult, we need those people to be able to live in our communities too. And far too often, in the places that used to be affordable, my own gateway city home of Salem, where you could pour coffee and pour beer for a living and put a roof over your head, it's just no longer the case. Every employer is talking about this being our biggest challenge for workforce development and growing our economy and retaining and recruiting that talent that we know we need. And it's because without affordable and accessible housing, the people that we rely on, they can't afford to stay here and fill those much-needed jobs. So across our administration, we are committed. We're committed to trying to find ways to build a lot more housing so that people can stay in the communities that they love and support. And we know that there are lots of intractable problems in government. I mean, things that are really tough to solve, that there just isn't a ready, available solution. I'm proud to say, this isn't one of them. And being here in Hyde Park is an example of that. The answer to not having enough housing is to build more housing. It's simple. So look, the Pryde is a clear example and a compelling example of what happens when we come together to try and fulfill the housing needs that we have. It's a partnership between community, city leaders, federal partners, state officials, and developers. That's what we need to be happening throughout this entire Commonwealth. And it takes neighbors coming together to put our hand up to say yes for housing. This isn't build anything anywhere. I think of it as development by choice, not by chance. When we identify where we want to build and then go do it, that's when the good stuff happens. Because we know that this is a resource that isn't going to happen all on its own. And frankly, the state doesn't build housing. The city doesn't build housing. It's all of us collaboratively that come together to make sure that we're building the housing that we need in our communities. So we're excited about this project in particular. And I know this building is a first of its kind. But let me say today, it will not be the last. We are an administration. We're an administration that is leaning into this work. And when I look around this room, the power of people, the power of collective action, we don't want people building housing because there's some state law requiring it. We got to capture hearts and minds and recognize who we're leaving behind when we say no to housing in our community. And I know that together, we've got models that we can point to right here in Hyde Park, the beauty and the benefit of when you say yes, when we work together in that collective action, what that can really mean. If we love the places that we live and we love our neighbors, which I think we do in this Commonwealth, we're more than meeting a need. We're building a community that's stronger. We're building great neighborhoods and continuing to ensure that the Commonwealth is this wonderful place to raise a family, grow old with dignity and respect, and do so in an inclusive manner. Congrats to everyone today who made this happen. Many more to come. Hear, hear.
Okay. I got lost in the moment. That was a great speech. Thank you. Gretchen's like, aren't you supposed to go now? Oh, yes, I am. Every now and again, I would sneak down here on a Saturday to see the progress. And as I got to the end, every time my breath was taken completely away. And that's because of Demilla Schaefer. the phenomenal architects who created this incredibly beautiful, loving, and sensitive place. It is a gift to the community. I would like the DeMille Schaefer team to stand up and be recognized for their incredible work. I know they're here in the audience. Where are they? No. Stay standing. Stay standing. We've got Philippe, Alex, Jovi, Newt, Cassandra, and Christian. In the spirit of unknown heroes, there are two more I would like to recognize. Would Alex Adkins and Jovi Cruzes come up to the stage? I wanted to recognize them because these two individuals worked on this building every day. They designed the building and then had to redesign the building every time Brian found something. The amount of problem solving that these two came up with was extraordinary and under extremely stressful conditions. They were incredibly creative, original, and got us here through the finish line, and we just could not be more proud to see the work and the results that they have. And so we have for you, as well, a couple of mementos from the building that we wanted to give you. Thank you. Every industry event I go to, one of the common themes people talk about is how great it is to have you as the Secretary, Mr. Augustus. We really appreciate that. We are so grateful for your leadership. You are shaping this position and creating a real path for the future, and it's very impressive, and we're very excited and proud of that. Thank you. You have a great team with you, and the team on this particular project that I wanted to highlight was Kate Racer, Rebecca Frawley-Wachtel, Matt Seidel, Camille Perry, and friends, Michelle Vingera from Mass Housing and Madeline Nash from CDAC. And it's not just about the financial support that they give, which is tremendous. It's really about the mindset, the attitude, and the approach. It's the we're in this together mentality. And you can't take that for granted because that's not common that you get all across the board. And we are so appreciative, so thankful, so lucky to have your team here working in this state to deliver the affordable housing industry. And thank you very much. So we'd like to invite you to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Charlie. And let me just say what an honor it is to be here with the Lieutenant Governor and the Mayor and all the elected officials who are such leaders in affordable housing. I want to specifically call out Rep. Consalvo, whose district we're in, who's a member of the Housing Committee, who was very instrumental in passing the Governor's Affordable Homes Act through the House of Representatives, so we appreciate him for that strong leadership. And I want to congratulate Charlie and the whole team at Penrose, LGBTQ Senior Housing, Inc., and all the project partners who made today possible. Congratulations. As we come to the end of Pride Month, today's opening is something we will be able to celebrate forever because this project is the definition of Boston Pride. Boston has a long history of LGBTQ culture, activism, and community. It hasn't always been an easy road, but it is a road that has led us to a state of firsts. Massachusetts is the first state in the nation to legalize same-sex marriage. We elected the first woman and LGBTQ governor of Massachusetts. And today we celebrate Boston's first LGBTQ affirming affordable housing community for seniors. The Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities is proud to have awarded nearly $4 million in federal and state low-income housing tax credits that will generate more than $20 million of equity for this project. Additionally, the Housing and Livable Communities has awarded a little over $4.5 million in state subsidies to help make the Pride a reality. Today we celebrate a beautiful old school building, brought back to life, a fantastic example of adaptive reuse, a building in which generations of children were taught history and math and science, and now teaches us that everyone deserves a place to call home, a place where they can thrive, a community center open to the public, art gallery, education center, and art studio. The Pryde will continue to be a place of learning and creativity for generations to come. But much more than that, it is a testament to the values we hold here in Massachusetts. Author and philosopher Patricia Churchland once said, "We long to belong, and belonging and caring anchors our sense of place in the universe." As we celebrate this vibrant new community of 74 mixed-income homes for seniors with supportive services, we celebrate a place of belonging. Congratulations to everyone.
And next, I don't need to introduce who will be speaking.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I can't tell you how absolutely thrilled I am to be with you here today, celebrating the Pryde, a housing community that will change the lives of so many individuals who deserve our love and support as they age in beloved community where they are truly free to be their complete, authentic selves. It's amazing. And there are so many who deserve our special thanks. I'm going to just acknowledge a few without whom we would not be here today, especially my good friends at Penrose, Charlie Adams and Carmen Chung. They changed my life as well, Charlie, in big ways. I never would have dreamed from this girl from Worcester I used to be. I don't know how I ended up doing this. It's an amazing journey. But they taught me everything I know how to be a developer, so I'm now ready to do that next one. We're not done. We, from the early days, had an incredibly generous anonymous donor who made our continued existence possible. Again, we wouldn't have been able to do this without that person who remains anonymous. And that allowed us to hire our talented and multi-talented and amazing executive director, the civil rights attorney, Gretchen Van Ness. Where would we be without Gretchen? I have to especially call out our co-founder and brilliant architect, my friend Philippe Saad, who dreamed this project first and invited us all in. And then there's our whole wonderful board, diverse in every measure, bringing wide-ranging skills, knowledge, and expertise from our most senior members to our much younger members who I'm counting on to carry us well into the future and keep this work going. So thank you, team. We have had the great fortune to have two amazing grant writers who have helped fund this whole thing, both even raising capital funds as well as keeping us in operation, Allison Baer and Isabel Thibault. Fantastic. And then there's amazing, incredible, and quite capable staff. We are indebted to their help keeping us moving and getting this all done. Thank you. Truly a team of pragmatic, persistent idealists who believe another world is possible and are working to make it so. For many years, I've been wearing a lapel pin given to me by friends that reads simply, "Practice justice." My mother looked at it and said, "And love. You have to practice justice and love." But I do believe that justice is love. It's love in action. It's love in public. This whole initiative, which is a community-wide grassroots effort, has been a mission, a calling, and a labor of love. It has completely enriched my life and brought great joy and purpose. So it's just, what can I say? It's huge. And I just have to take one little somber moment. While we are here celebrating the Pryde here today, I have to take a moment to note that there is no Pryde in Gaza, and our Palestinian sisters and brothers there have no safe home anywhere. I just ask everyone, please do whatever you can to work for peace and justice in Palestine. And now, in addition to all the many, many elected officials who have been our friends and supporters all this time, I have the great honor to introduce two of them. I'm going to start with Rob Consalvo, who I've known for, we just were counting up how long. He was my district city councilor, so I've known him for a long time, but he has been a dedicated and passionate advocate and ally at every step of the way as we have taken this project from a dream in 2015 until today. In fact, he's the guy that suggested this building might be a good possible location when it was a closed school with a leaking roof and partly uninhabitable. And he was absolutely right. Rob, come on.
Thank you, Eileen, and good afternoon, everybody. Isn't this a great day for Hyde Park? I'm thrilled to be here. I just want to thank the mayor for her laser-like vision on the issue of housing with her great team and the greatest housing chief in America, Sheila Dillon, who's here in the front row. Our partners across the hall, the lieutenant governor and the governor, have been awesome to work with. Great partners with the legislature and have really hit the ground running on all of the issues facing our Commonwealth they have their hands on, and we thank you for your great work. And I want to shout out the secretary and thank him for his kind comments and say, Secretary, right back at you, because you don't just talk the talk, but you walk the walk. This is not his first time in Hyde Park. I asked if he would come out to Hyde Park to look at the Fairmount housing development. I have 3 public housing developments in my district. Public housing is an extremely important issue to me, and I want him to come see one of the developments in my district. And not only did he come out, but he spent 3 hours touring the Fairmount district, meeting with residents, looking at vacant units, habitable units, and all of the issues, and we're working on some great things in public housing. Secretary, thank you. And I also want to recognize Gretchen Van Ness, my great friend. When you talk about community leaders, you talk about Gretchen Van Ness. Not just this issue at the Pryde, but with so many issues in our neighborhood in Hyde Park and fighting for so many causes around justice and equity, and not just here in this neighborhood, but her reputation goes citywide, it goes statewide, and it goes nationwide. Gretchen, we thank you for being a great leader in our community. And Eileen, thank you so much for your introduction. Eileen and I go back 22 years. When I was the District 5 City Councilor representing her on the Boston City Council. I think the very first call I got as a City Councilor was from Eileen, rather. And Eileen didn't stop from there on and on and on. But I just want to recognize Eileen as just really the force that really brought us where we are here today. I remember when Eileen asked if we could have a meeting with Mayor Marty Walsh to talk about the chances of surplusing this building that wasn't being used. I was chief of staff at the Boston Public Schools for Marty Walsh then, and I said, sure, we'll have the meeting, and Marty Walsh agreed to it, and we sat down in the meeting, and Eileen came in and made a passionate case. I think, Gretchen, you might have been there as well, I'm not sure. Okay. Eileen made a passionate case to the mayor about why this building should be turned over and why it should be surplus by a vote of the school committee, and why that the school committee should then turn it over to Sheila Dillon, and then why Sheila Dillon should put on an RFP, and then why that RFP should be for LGBTQ housing right here in Hyde Park. And when Eileen, after her passionate and forceful and direct, she didn't ask the mayor, I'll be honest with you, she told the mayor what was going to happen. She left, and everyone left the office, and Mayor Walsh looked at me and said, well, what are we going to do? And I said, we're going to do exactly what Eileen told us to do. And from that moment on, the ball got rolling, and thanks to Eileen's leadership. And I will tell you, she called 3 times a week for 6 months wanting to know when that school committee vote was going to happen. So the passion, the commitment, the dedication by Eileen to make sure to hold our feet to the fire, to hold government's feet to the fire on this amazing cause is just incredible. And Eileen, we can't thank you enough. Again, another round of applause for both Gretchen and Eileen. You know, I've never been more proud to call myself a Hyde Parker and to live in Hyde Park for my entire life as I am today, with this historic ribbon cutting, with this historic building, with this historic moment in our community. And I want to thank the Hyde Park community. There are so many residents in this community that are here today that have embraced this project, that have welcomed this project, that supported it throughout the city's zoning process and all of the permitting process. This is a community in Hyde Park, and the residents that are here who love this project and wanted to make sure that this happened and fought hard and worked hard every day to do that. So to the Hyde Park community, thank you for being here, for standing up for what is right and for this project being in our community. Big round of applause for my neighbors and friends. You know, and I know the mayor's going to make fun of me, but Boston Magazine recently named Hyde Park the #1 place to live in Boston and Greater Boston. And I keep touting that because it's such a great achievement that Boston Magazine recognizes what we know, that Hyde Park is one of the greatest places to live, not just in the city of Boston, but in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the United States of America. And we're even greater today with this ribbon cutting and when we welcome our new neighbors. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, well now, our next speaker, from the first moment I met City Council President Ruth Z. Lujan and worked with her to get her name on the ballot and introduced her to my friends and neighbors, I knew she would be an amazing, brilliant, wise, strong leader and a friend of Hyde Park and the Pryde, and she is that and more. Ruth Z.
Thank you so much, Eileen. It's going to be incredibly hard to follow the Prince of Hyde Park, but I am going to try. This is an incredibly beautiful, was he tipping his hat? Oh, yeah, he does like it. I know. He grew up, so I live in Hyde Park, grew up in Mattapan and Hyde Park. He grew up on the street where I, a few years later, also grew up in Hyde Park. So it's a joy to be here. They deserve all of the flowers, all of the praise. And so again, to Eileen, to Philippe, merci, thank you, congratulations. This is beautiful. This room is beautiful. The reason we are gathered here today is really beautiful. Shout out to Gretchen for all the work you do. This illustrious board from, yes, clap for yourselves. From all the community leaders, from Allison to Chastity, who's gonna give me that dress after this, to Jean, who's gonna create a space here for the portraits of Pryde in a way that will be beautiful. This is really what it looks like, and I think Eileen mentioned it when we talk about the beloved community that Dr. King talked about. That's what we're building. That's what this Pryde is all about. This is doubly special for me because this used to be a school. And my younger sister went here and my older sister went here. And I came here, you know, one of the special things about this project is I'm in my second term, my third year in office, and I've only seen so many constructions from groundbreaking to ribbon cutting. But this is my second one where I was here for the groundbreaking and now I'm here for the ribbon cutting. And I came during construction. I was also here, also with the Prince of Hyde Park, in our hard hats, looking at how the development was coming along, sending pictures to my sisters like, this used to be your classroom. And now this is going to be an apartment for anyone, but affirming for our LGBTQ plus residents. What we know we need in the city is more housing. What we know we need in the city is more spaces that affirm our LGBTQ plus siblings. We need that, and that's what the Pryde will be. This is a beautiful, joyous moment. When I was walking in, there was a smile on everyone's face. Ayo greeted me, the biggest smile in the world. And I don't want to take away from that, but I do want to mention the time last year, I believe, where the Pryde faced vandalism. And so many of us were at open streets in JP. We got a text from Eileen and Gretchen, and we were like, let us know when. We ride at dawn. We will be here for the Pryde. Because when they come for one of us, they come for all of us. And so I want you to know that we are here today in times of joy. We will be with you if there are any moments of homophobia or transphobia that we experience as a community, as at-large city council, as president of the Boston City Council, but most importantly, as a resident of Hyde Park, we are creating an inclusive community. We are saying, I always love Big Papi who said, this is our expletive city. And it is. It's for all of us. This is the true Boston. It's a true Boston. That means there's a space for you and for you and for you. However old you are, however you identify, there is space for you. And so I just want to just continue to say thank you to everyone who has made this wonderful day possible. We are here only because of dedicated commitment. So many people talked about, the mayor talked about all the funds that were required to make this possible. See Thaddean Brown here from the Community Preservation Office. The money that we levy as a city to invest in affordable housing projects, open space. And so I want to thank you for that. I want to tell the future residents of the Pryde that you belong here. This is your home. We welcome you here in Hyde Park, and we can't wait for you to be residents. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. We have some great financial partners on this deal. In addition to HLC, we had the Mayor's Office of Housing, and their funding included Community Preservation Act funding. And just like HLC, it's much more than the financing. It's their incredible support, it's their embracing of the vision that was this place to be that helped us really make this deal possible through so many different ways, and we are so appreciative and so thankful. I just want to, and I want to thank Sheila and her great team of Kelly, Rihanna, and the two Chris's, O'Keefe and Rooney. So all the funders are in your program. Please make sure you check that. Our other funders obviously include Mass Housing Partnership, the Mass Historical Commission, the National Park Service, the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston, and MHIC. And MHIC played two key roles here that may not be known. They actually were the Federal Home Loan Bank member, the sponsor of and they also loaned the state credit equity into the deal. So we're very appreciative. TD Bank, and last but not least, Redstone. One of the things we talk about in our business is problem solvers. And when it comes to equity syndicators, Ryan Sofredo and Redstone fit that to a T. They are incredible problem solvers. When we had cost overruns on this deal, just a little bit, they stepped up and provided more equity. We are very appreciative of their partnership. And I have asked Ryan to come up to the microphone and speak on behalf of all the funders.
Thank you, Charlie. First, the readers. Don't leave home without them. Wow, these are some tough acts to follow. But over the course of the next 45 minutes, I'm going to do my best to follow. Oh, in all seriousness, what a beautiful day to celebrate the grand opening of the Pryde here in Hyde Park, neighborhood of Boston. And how fitting we cut the ribbon on this majestic new senior-friendly and LGBTQ-affirming affordable housing facility here on June 28th at the tail end of Pride Month. My name is Ryan Sofredo. I'm the CEO of Redstone Equity Partners. We're a national investor in affordable rental housing projects, such as this breathtaking one we are commemorating here today. Our company has raised and invested more than $10 billion of equity and invested that into more than 700 affordable housing communities located in 48 different states and containing more than 60,000 affordable homes for America's hardworking families, veterans, people with special needs, teachers, first responders, and of course, seniors. All of this investment in affordable housing has been made possible by the low-income housing tax credit, our nation's most successful housing program with a 35-year-plus track record of success and a model of what public-private partnerships are all about. More locally, we've invested nearly $500 million of equity here into affordable housing communities across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and we've partnered with our friends at Penrose on 20 different affordable housing communities throughout New England, the Northeast, and the Mid-Atlantic. In the case of the Pryde, we raised and invested more than $30 million of federal and state tax equity to make this wonderful project a reality. Speaking of Pryde, I'm really proud of the work we have done here. We all should be. But there is so much unfinished business. As we're all aware, we're in the midst of an ever-growing affordable housing crisis here in our country. Even before the pandemic took hold over 4 years ago, we found ourselves in the midst of a crisis. And it's only been exacerbated over the past 48-plus months, first by COVID and next by runaway rents and inflation. This narrative is playing itself all across America, in our cities, in our suburbs, and in rural America as well. Take this for example. 5+ million senior households spend more than half of their income on housing today, and the senior population is expected to nearly double by the year 2030. Or perhaps this example. Just last week, the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies released its 2024 State of the Nation Housing Report. According to their findings, half of all renter households, nearly 23 million households, are cost-burdened. And more than 1 in 4 renter households in the U.S., 12 million of them, spend more than half of their income on rent, leaving far too little for other necessities like food, medical care, and transportation. Bottom line, the need for safe, secure, affordable housing has never been greater, as those most vulnerable are the ones being left behind. Which is why, while we celebrate this wonderful project on this special day, that our work here is not done. Our call to action has never been more urgent, and yet we, as an affordable housing industry, are attempting to build and preserve more high-quality affordable housing like this while dealing with a shrinking pool of federal resources to make it happen. Having said that, you have to enjoy the journey every once in a while, which is why we are here. Thank you to all the stakeholders who made this project a reality. It really does take a village. I want to start by recognizing and thanking the accomplished joint venture development team of Penrose and LGBTQ Senior Housing for pulling all the pieces and parties together to make this happen. These projects can be four-dimensional at times, with so many nuances, twists, turns, and public and private stakeholders involved. Your persistence and your vision are to be commended. You had the vision to breathe new life into what was once an iconic building, but one that had more recently fallen into disrepair and neglect. Congratulations. You are some of the very best partners we have, and we thank you for placing your trust in us and allowing us to play a small part in the development of this vibrant new community. To our federal, state, and city funders, thank you to you and your staffs for providing the financial resources necessary to make this project a reality. Without your stewardship and financial resources, none of us would be here today. To our friends at Massachusetts Housing Partnership, or MHP, thank you for providing the permanent mortgage financing. And to our dear friends and partners at TD Bank, thank you for your partnership in providing the construction financing here and investing the more than $30 million of federal and state tax equity through our Redstone Managed Investment Fund. Our two organizations have had the pleasure of investing in more than 80 affordable housing communities over the last 15 years, including many here in the greater Boston area and across the Commonwealth. And I think we can be especially proud of this collaboration and the impactful outcome it has and will have for many years to come. And lastly, and most importantly, to the new, soon-to-be residents here at the Pryde, congratulations and welcome home. Thank you.
Okay. Rounding third and coming home. So my team knows I love to quote movies, and I'm going to use one I used before, but I'm sure they won't remember because I usually get tuned out. It's actually from the movie Philadelphia, and I thought it was appropriate. It's where Tom Hanks is in the movie, and he's asked, why does he love the law? And his answer is because sometimes, not often, but every now and again, you get to be a part of justice being served. And so I would like the LGBTQ Senior Housing Board, Inc. to stand up and be recognized. Because I think today feels like a part of justice has been served for all your hard work and dedication, so thank you. And now I would like to introduce a very special human being to speak on behalf of the board, Philippe Saad. Philippe is at the crossroads of all these groups, as you've heard. He is at the center of the vision for this place, from a physical, emotional, and social perspective. Every detail of this place is inspired by his vision. It is his heart and it is his soul. It has been his dream, and now it is his reality. He is a great architect and a great friend. I am honored to introduce my friend, Philippe Saad.
I think today is going to be hard to follow all these beautiful speeches. So today I decided to tell you a story. I'm just going to tell you the story of all this. This story was an ambition from a young gay architect to think about where his community will live when they get older. This story became an initiative by a very small group of us, like-minded, who started to make phone calls and ask questions. Sarah Boyer, Marianne Casella, Jacob Fisher. Where is Jacob? This story became an inspiration when the small group of us received community support from organizations and public officials. Many are in this room today. Then this story became a challenge to find a place in our beloved city where inclusivity and acceptance of our LGBTQ-ness will never be irrevocable, a location where we can create partnership and friendships. A challenge to find a partner willing to walk with us along the sinuous and impenetrable path of development. A challenge to make our story heard. The small group embraced the challenge, and this story became a task force. A somehow formal, somehow small, but determined group of individuals who wanted to continue to tell the story despite the many voices who did not believe in us. It is because of people like Josh Zakem, former city councilor and human rights advocate, and our city's housing chief superstar and constant advocate, Sheila Dillon, and your team, that this small but mighty task force of people had its first debut. This task force received a very powerful engine the moment Eileen Montour decided to join us just as a volunteer, who gathered more than 200 people to a citywide hearing on the need for LGBTQ senior housing in 2015. We received unanimous support from all members of the council, including our fierce Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley and our defiant Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. Eileen, only if you knew that you would be a major author of this story and would take on the challenge to transform this task force into the board we are today. LGBTQ Senior Housing, Inc. was created on November 13, 2018, less than 6 years ago. with its sole mission to house our LGBTQ elders. Can I ask board members Eileen Montour, Dorothea Keeling, Lisa Krinsky, and Gretchen Van Ness to stand up. Gretchen, you are a board member with us. Six years ago, we signed the documents of this wonderful organizations, the few of us. Without you all, we would not even dream of being here today. And without you, Eileen, my friend, this would never happen. So thank you. Thank you. Today, with the help of many, many, many people of you, this story became the Pryde. As LGBTQ people, we don't take no for an answer, and rejection is always in our lives. But we have grit, and we get creative. We have community, so we walk together. We believe in love and inclusion of all, and few of us become many. There are many people who walked with us, but there is an unquestionable pilot who believes in our mission, supports our vision, helped us pave the path to today, and drove our bus in the sinuous path of development and financing. This pilot is a friend, an ally to our community, an advocate of inclusion, a believer in equity, a listener, and an honorary member of our community, if I may say. This pilot has a staunching co-pilot as well. And together, as Penrose, our developer, they flew our plane as we were building it. Charlie Adams and Carmen Chung. You stuck with us through so many challenges. You advocated for us just like any one of us would do. You walked the streets of Hyde Park with our board to gather support. You knocked at every financing door possible to finance this outstanding community. And like us LGBTQ people, no was not an acceptable answer. Your Penrose team is exceptional. I would like to ask Carmen, please, to come to the stage. And Charlie, can you join us, please? So this is a model that represents our community, and I want you guys to have this to continue to represent our work together. So this is for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Many of you know that I wear few hats for the Pryde. I use the pronoun we, which gets confusing, but I always believe that we are more than one thing. We are a collection of identities we collect along our path. The story of the Pryde is intertwined with the Mala Schaefer, my workplace and my second home. Sometimes if you ask Anil, my husband, he will tell you that it feels like my first home. Anil visited the Pryde, the construction site, for the first time 2 months ago, and in his own words, while he was tearing up with pride, he told me, "Now I understand why you had to be at so many meetings, why you spent so many evenings with your team. This is incredible." Can I ask you to stand up and get it? As the young architect I was 15 years ago, arriving here is truly incredible. But I have an exceptional team who excels in senior housing, affordable housing, adaptive reuse. But I can tell you that anyone, even the team members who had a very minor role in this project, did it with so much passion and dedication. They understood what can be a simple line on a drawing, how it can change lives. Alex Atkins, Jovi Cruces, and Cassandra Michaud. If you can stand for a little bit. The three of you carried this project in your heart for more than 4 years. You spent countless hours managing the team, designing and redesigning the units, laying out 74 fully accessible kitchens and bathrooms, advocating for all-gender restrooms, designing and making the case to the mass access board of this beautiful rainbow through our community room, and engaging with public agencies to achieve a building that is the pride of all of us. I want to ask everybody at Demela Schaefer, Christian, you're here today to stand. I also would like to ask our partners, Ashley Nickerson, structural engineer at LAFP, Jess Hamilton and Catherine Hill at Mickey & Kim Design, and Lori Weisberg at Fernleaf. These are the people who are standing now who got us through the finish line. So a big thank you to all of you. I also want to give a big thanks to the entire NEI team, because our drawings, our vision can never become a reality without your work tirelessly every day on days and weekends. So thank you very much. I'm almost done. If I were to say something to my younger self, the immigrant, the son of Palestinian refugees who grew up as a misfit in Lebanon, it would be something like this. Continue to believe that you can do whatever you see right. Even you feel helpless at times, but do not think you can do it yourself on your own. You have the community with you. And to my fellow architects, designers, and community workers, I say that we can always do more than our daily jobs. Our work goes beyond the pen or the line on paper. Our work can change lives. If you believe in something and this something doesn't exist yet, create the path. When I look at the room today, I see some also very special friends who shepherd my thoughts and who gave me the strength and clarity over the years to reach this moment. Thank you, RAP. Thank you, housewives. And thank you, Sahim and Daryl. And Anil, you unwaveringly believed in the Pryde when I was ready to give up. You always have a way to give me the push I need without showing it. You opened our home for outreach events and fundraisers over the many years. You are so much part of this story, of the Pryde. As we will all go into our daily lives after this ceremony, I just want you all to leave with one thought, that this project is beyond the building. It is beyond one community. It is the work of an exceptional group of individuals, all like-minded, who work together to get us today to the finish line. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone in the room.
Just gonna say a few things in there. We just have a few last people we're going to recognize, and then we're going to get out of here and go have some fun next door. This was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I think please take a look at the program. You can see all of the development team. I think most of them have been recognized. The one that I want to make sure that we also do recognize that didn't get mentioned is Innova. Innova is our owner's rep. They guide us through the entire process. They're an incredible group. Adam, Ben, Tom, thank you so much for all the work you've done. And also our legal counsel, Klein Hornig, Dan Rosen is here with us today. There was a lot of tricky things we had to get through on this one, and we couldn't have done it without him. I do want to recognize the Penrose family that's with us today. Jacob Fisher was mentioned earlier. He's my colleague from Philly. Raise your hand, Jacob. Jacob is the one that did the John C. Anderson in Philadelphia, and he's the reason why we're in this room here together, because this group reached out to him, and that's a result of this project. So thank you, Jacob. Marcia Blunt, our president of management, is here. Jenny Hayward, our transition manager. Katie Rudan, who put this whole event together, is here somewhere in the room. Thank you. Ryan Kirikoff. Ryan Kirikoff was a great project manager that helped us get through this and did all kinds of great work. We call him the $1 million man for all the different grants that he raised. More than $1 million, but anyway. We like to say that. And Carmen Chung, what else can we say about her that hasn't already been said? She's just an exceptional. So I want to thank you all for coming, and Gretchen's going to tell us now what do we do next. So thank you all.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you all. Thank you. So this is a wonderful moment. You've been here and been very patient, but you all have to meet each other. So please, after we close up here, find your way to the community center where we have food and drink, and you'll have a chance to talk to the board here, to our representatives from the 54th Regiment, because one of the things that is most amazing about this building is that our LGBTQ senior housing office will have a home for the first time, and we will have a home for the 54th Regiment right down the hall. So we look forward to, please stand, please stand. Thank you. Please stand. These are the amazing people who keep alive the history and the story of the first all-black regiment to fight in the Civil War, formerly enslaved persons. And they are based right here in Hyde Park, which is where that group mustered during the Civil War. So it's a huge, huge part of Hyde Park history, and we're so happy that they will be our neighbors. I also wanted to make sure that I shout out my team, Isabel Tebow, I.O. Fields, and Jessa Beta. There's just 4 of us, well, actually 3.5 of us, and and also we're joined with so many people who love and support them, and I just wanted to say that we could not have been here today without all of their help. So please take a moment to catch your breath and find one of our volunteers, those beautiful rainbow sashes. Our volunteers are from Gay for Good and Stonewall Sports, and get yourself over to the community center. Talk to somebody you haven't met yet, hug somebody that you know, and thank you for being part of our celebration today. One more thing.
We got to cut the ribbon. We got to cut the ribbon. So, yes, so everybody that's up on stage, stay put. That's the reason we're here.
job.